to Beyond the Title.
Thank you.
I am privileged to be interviewing you today. And like you know, Beyond the Title is basically to understand the face behind the title. So we would like to know who actual Saji sir is,
Yeah.
and not just the legal head of E2E Rail.
First of all, ma'am, thank you so much. I feel privileged, part of this discussion or interaction on this subject matter. So going to your the first question, I am a civil engineer. Basically, I am a civil engineer. I studied in College of Engineering, Trivandrum, and my exposure at M.N. Dastur and Company as a consulting engineer, where I worked as a technical director, and E2E Rail in the field of tendering, contract administration, and claims management. These sparked my curiosity to understand the law or the jurisprudence behind the preparation or framing of such documents. Tendering, they frame documents, and basically the contract writing, So this gave me the curiosity to understand what is the law, what is the jurisprudence behind these framing of these documents. So I started pursuing my career in LLB thereafter, and with the hope then that I would contribute someday to uphold justice for somebody whose rights are infringed. So this is how I started pursuing this career in the field of law. As far as I am concerned, a good legal judgment should be something which is fair. It should be a sustainable one. I mean to say, when it says sustainable, it should not be challenged at a later stage, and it should be aligned with the long-term interests. So these are the three things what I am looking. It should be a fair one and a sustainable one, and it should be aligned with the long-term interests. I feel everything depends upon the core values. Now, what are the core values? Sometimes, for me, the core values are, again, integrity and transparency. So, yes, ethically, it should be right. When something is ethically right, I feel it should be legally also defensible. Non-legal stakeholders, they are generally not very acquainted with the legal language. So what we have to do, we have to translate it into the business understandable language. For any, say, if it is a contractual matter, or if it's a tendering matter, or a new business matter, going into a new business, we should actually translate the whole this thing into the risks, the business risks involved in that particular transaction or the commercial transaction, and then make the stakeholder understand that if these are the business risks involved, and then what are the actions you have to take to mitigate such risks. So this will be the best way to make them understand. So since we understand law, so we apply that law into that commercial transaction, and evaluate the risks, inform the management about those risks and how to mitigate those risks at the decision-making stage itself before entering into the transaction. As you are already aware, AI, artificial intelligence and automation is the next generation, next era actually. So of course that will definitely that will be one of the emerging trends. Now data privacy is also one of the key factors, now, which is a challenge. So that also will be a lot of data protection laws, data protection acts have come into picture, which we need to comply with. And more said on this field is, the environmental sustainability and business governance, which is also a very crucial factor. In the next, when I mean actually the social responsibility of the business, the environmental sustainability of the business, what we are doing. Which also speaks about the workplace safety, diversity, human rights. So these are the emerging, these are the things which are very crucial to the the work business which are emerging trends in the next couple of years. Ultimately, it's the team, and then the BCP of any organization will really defined by the team you have. When I say BCP, business continuity process. So you need to have a good team. So your question on the team should be the team should be able to understand the business realities. What is the business? Okay, there is law on one side, so they have the law, they have everything, but then the team should understand the business realities in the real field scenario, and then coupled with that, they should be able to they should have a there are several functions in any organization. They should have a cross-functional exposure. So rather than only one function, legal function or the contract function will not help. The team should actually have a cross-functional exposure, understanding the business reality on one hand, the other functions, what they are, how they are contributing the business realities. So this I define this as cross-functional exposure. Then thorough reading of the contracts. The team should have thorough reading of the contract, not a superficial this thing. Then only they will be able to help the organization and the other cross functions in driving the business goals. And also they should participate. The team should participate in the operational, the discussions. What are then they will have more understanding on how the business operations takes place. So and they also, and I feel finally not the least, they should also engage themselves in legal research, which is very important thing. What I always see, because the other business, other stakeholders will not be doing the legal function. They should do a lot of legal research, which will help in the organization and largely the functions at a large. I have been handling projects, and I got the opportunity to handle projects at the very early phase of my career or life. At a very young age, I was given a big projects to manage. Probably I exactly don't remember. At the age of 36 or something, I was in charge of a big site of an expansion in a project. That was, I think, Salem Steel Plant expansion project, which was costing around 7,000 crores. Thereafter, there were many other projects where I managed as site in charge. But the most important thing what I learned, one is timely response. Anything, whatever, any matter which comes to you, responding to that matter in a timely manner is very crucial. And the second thing is managing human resources. If you can manage human resources, then I think that's the best part of that. If you can't manage, I think you will not be able to. You can't be you will not be qualified as a leader. So as a leader, actually, two things I learned in the hard way. One is timely response. The second is managing human resources. These are two things what I have learned. I'm not a lawyer. Actually, I would have been continuing with my engineering, considering my background as a civil engineer and also my 31 years of experience in the field of engineering. If not civil engineering, actually, then I would have been, I am very much interested in cooking. So I would have rather, started my own restaurant, and which still I am, still options are there in my mind, to have my own restaurant because I love cooking. The best dish what I make is the sambar, the Kerala delicacy is there, sambar which I make. Because several times I made sambar and my near and dear, whosoever has been there, they've always been very, acceptable to that dish. I've been in assignments, abroad, and also many places I was there, where my family could not be with me because of some reasons, operational reasons. Either my children are studying here or my wife is having a, so I have to stay, sometime as a forced bachelor. And so every time I used to cook, and there were a lot of my colleagues and my friends who used to accompany me, and sharing the dish what I prepared. So I have got a good this thing on the whatever I prepared. So I feel that I can cook something. One book which has really motivated me or inspired me, which I still have. I still keep, there is one book which is called You Can Also Be a Mahatma. Actually, it is on the on the experience, the life experiences of Sri Mahatma Gandhi, which is written by Swami Udit Chaitanya. Swami Udit Chaitanya is actually he's a Bhagavad Gita interpreter actually in Kerala actually. So he has a lot of online discourses on TV and other channels. So he wrote a book, You Can Also Be a Mahatma. So that book actually I got in one of his discourses in Kerala. So I got this book, I read that book, and that book has really, been very motivating to me, inspirational to me in so far as, the kind of, understanding who you are, the mind, and all those things. And it has been a big contributing factor in my career and life. It is along with that Bhagavad Gita, and from there actually I started. The first I read that book actually, and then from there actually I started, reading Bhagavad Gita also. These two books has really inspired me in my life. One of the most key takeaways from You Can Also Be a Mahatma, that book, as well as Bhagavad Gita. There are several, there are several these things. But one thing is that your mind, your mind can be your enemy, and mind can also be your friend. Your best friend is your mind, and your worst enemy is your mind, nobody else. We always tell that somebody else is my best friend. No. Mind is the best friend for someone who can control it. And mind is the worst enemy for somebody who cannot control. So these things I have to tell, as a message to all the youngsters and everything. So everything is about the mind. So if you can control your mind, you can have a better control on the people around you, all the stakeholders around you, all the people around you. You can have a better control on them. You have a better control on the work. You have a better control on your duties, what you're doing, and you can emerge eventually as a good leader. But if you don't have a control on your mind, then you don't have control on ourselves, and then we don't have control on the people around us also. So this is one thing. This sloka actually is there in Bhagavad Gita also. In this book also, the mind is a friend for those who can control it. A mind is an enemy for those who cannot control it. It's actually a strategy. It's a way of life. It's more than a Hindu devotional book or a sacred book. It is a way of life. Bhagavad Gita is a way of life. It gives you solution to all your day-to-day problems. All your day-to-day questions are answered there. You may not be able to understand in the first sense. You can understand in, you can read and read and read. Keep on reading it. Once you finish, again read it again, and then you start understanding. They start understanding the meaning. Along with that, you need somebody who, like I used to listen to discourses of Swami Udit Chaitanya, who will actually interpret. He will give the inner engineering meaning of each sloka. Each sloka has got an inner engineering meaning. So that they will explain. When you listen to that, when you understand that, then this slokas, it becomes a little bit more, brings more clarity into us. After a long day, I love to spend some time in the kitchen. That is one thing. So I love to cook something, and I don't watch any recipes. I don't watch anybody's recipe. I make my own recipe. I try, there are several dishes, whether it is a non-vegetarian dish or a vegetarian dish. I tried my own way of different this thing, and then, so I spend time in kitchen. This is one way I like to relax, how to, relieve of the stresses, and watching movies and spending time with my, with my wife, children. If parents are around, then that is my, this is how I spend my time. something, something which has non-negotiable thing, something I've already written down here. So one is respect. Respect is something which is non-negotiable, whether it is people who are younger to your age or people who are elder to your age or anybody to that matter. We must respect, and I think that is the one of the bottom line also is written in the preamble to our constitution. So everything governs by respect. Second thing is integrity. So respect and integrity, I think these are the two principles which I would like not to negotiate with. I have seen good lawyers, in the recent days, I have seen good lawyers and good legal people taking key positions in organizations, even going up to the CEO levels and other. Earlier it was not to be seen very. Nowadays in the corporate functions, we are seeing why. So why? So for this, what I would suggest actually, people, the legal reasoning, there should be the ability to, the lawyers, young lawyers, they should have the ability to use the legal reasoning with the business reality. They should be able to match, the business strategy on one hand, legal reasoning on the other hand. If they can merge both, which earlier, if you see earlier days in the legal fraternity, people focus on the legal. Whenever the matter of whenever any business dispute or whenever any business litigation matter comes, then they start. But if you have apply the legal reasoning to the business strategy, and I think that would be one a good skill any lawyer would have, and they can have a key positions, in the industry, in the organization, and in the society at large. You should understand the legal implications of the business. Some business, what the legal implications of the business should understand as a lawyer. So which will help you, and then becoming a strategic partner to the organization. So these are the ways. These are ways what I believe. See, AI has a very major impact on the legal, if you ask me. Legal work has got routine works, has got day-to-day routine works, drafting, documentation, drafting, communication. So what happens because of the day-to-day affairs, of drafting, bringing things, finding out, searching for that data. So a lot of time was spent on drafting, preparation of statements. With the help of AI, actually, the routine work has been taken care to a larger extent. So what happened? Because of this, the lawyers or the advocates, the lawyers, they have little more time on focus on the strategy, on the judgment, on the research part. So they got so this I find that the AI and automation has taken care of the routine works, leaving some more time for the lawyers to work on the strategies, judgments, and research work. I'm not very sure whether it will shock people or not, but people may be aware also. Everyone may be aware. But what happens on the legal aspect, on the legal and the contracts? When you say legal and contracts, they supplement each other. So there is an immense time, and efforts spent actually on, because all these works, they need actually a lot of micromanaging, a lot of micromanaging things, coordination with the stakeholders. When I say stakeholders, it is internal as well as external, and the drafting of letters, documenting things, reviews. At the same time, we also have to see we a lot of time, a lot of effort is spent by the lawyers or the legal team on preventive work to see that this doesn't become a matter of litigation or a matter of dispute at a later stage. These are some things what we do in the background. It has been very encouraging, motivational, and has been a good learning. I would say I am still learned, still in the learning phase. Got an opportunity to apply the skills and the lessons what I have learned so far. Got an opportunity, and there's a lot of freedom. There is a lot of freedom, lot of independency in decision making. Whenever there is something which where justice is required, because of certain actions of some other authority, and then the rights of the organization is infringed. So, and then my contribution along with my team, to unfold that and then give justice. So recently, instances are there. We have been awarded actually in our favor by the honorable courts. So which gives a lot of motivation. So it has been very motivational and positive as a legal consultant.